Hi and welcome back to my channel, and as you can see we've been doing some picking, and today we're going to be looking at some problems with the brassicas. Planted up my tomatoes. These are my cherries, so Aperol. I've got three cherries I'm going to leave in the greenhouse, and the rest of the greenhouse will be mostly aubergines, chilies and some peppers, and there'll be a mixture of peppers and chilies going outside as well. But yeah, you can see that things are getting quite big now, and these tomatoes really do just want to go out, and so that's what I'm going to do. I mean, look at these beauties. But yep, coming through. And this is one of those yellow ones. It's the indigo pear drop, and I grew these last year and it was really strong, and they went on into later on in the season, and they started to ripen. They come through green and then they go black, dark purple black, and then they finally turn to yellow. And the trusses were huge, and there was lots of them on there. Not everybody liked them though, to eat. They were a bit suspicious of yellow tomatoes that looked like little pear drops, but I found them really good in sauces and in my salad, so I mixed them in anyway. I've got 6 other tomatoes. I've decided in this cold frame where it's got a deep back and it's got some protection, it doesn't get full sun, full sun belting down on them all day, that I put the larger tomatoes in here. And I've got Mardlobe and I've got Costaluto Fiorentino. So these are going to be the large, more beefsteak tomatoes, which I can easily put a pole behind. You can see as soon as they get in the ground, these things, and they are off. They're just bursting. So love that, and makes me feel a bit more secure that it's a great time to plant out. We've got about 16 degrees today and no overnight frosts or anything predicted. So all my pak choi and Asian greens are beginning to go to seed. The earlier ones are going to seed, but well, look at this. Look, this is the best. I had coriander in a different border to this without the protection, and look at my coriander. It's ready to go. It's ready to cut down. And what I do is just wash it and put it straight into a bag in the freezer, and then just crumble it whenever I need it, because I like to grow lots of it so I can use it throughout the year if I can. But you can never grow enough, unfortunately. It does go. Spring onions are finally starting to bounce up and do something, so that's nice. Have a quick tour of the beds while we're here. Just got some beetroot. In fact, that beetroot didn't do very well. The leaves probably, but it's going to seed before it really made a bulb at the bottom, and that's what happens with some of the overwintering varieties. But I do have some smaller ones, some chard and some smaller ones coming through, and I must get these beans into ground today. Yeah, that's one of my jobs. That was a bit of a gift from somebody, so no, I need to find a place for them pretty quick. Spinach has been going on. Had loads of greens and loads of salads off of everything. One lonely cabbage, I think he got mistaken for an Asian green, and then once he started to grow I just kind of left him in there. But yeah, that's what happened really. Jerusalem artichokes are just coming up, and yep, they look okay. A lot more of them than last year. They spread a lot, don't they? Rhubarb, sad rhubarb, but the onions are looking good, so hoping that there'll be some good garlic and onions this year. More spinach, that's looking okay. I've had loads of leaves off of those. Just leave that for a little while longer. These are the onions I planted from seed, mostly red ones, so little clusters of red ones. This is a bit of an experiment for me. I haven't grown onions from seed before, but some of the sets that I grew last year went to seed, so this is mostly garlic. That garlic coming through here. It's looking a little bit yellow. Not quite sure what that means, whether I should be trying to feed it or something, because it's only May, you know, it's going to be in the ground for a bit longer now, but it has overwintered, so maybe that's some damage from cold weather over winter. Some very sorry looking field beans that I planted way back. So I've had some hanging baskets that I've used for my tomatoes, but for specific type ones. So I have got 5 hanging baskets. It looks like I need one more because I seem to have 6 of these tumbling toms, which are really quite a wide leaf. You know, they're quite a wide leaf variety like that. They don't get very tall, but they just get branches on branches on branches on branches, so they become like a little bush tomato, full of tiny cherries, small cherries, but they're worth it, I think, because of the sweetness and just how many little tomatoes that you get off of them. You know, really ready for salads rather than sauces and stuff. So yeah, now I just want to get some things out of the greenhouse, so I'm potting these on. Got here is a mix of this kind of a farmyard manure type blend, which is great, and I've got half a bag of some lighter compost, and so that's literally all I'm going to do. And here's one I've done already, and he's ready to go. I might give him a bit of a top up a bit later on once he gets a bit bigger, but they're starting to make some little flowers already, so that's cool. It won't be long. As you may remember, I have got a hooped tunnel with my new cauliflowers and cabbages on my second plot, my new plot. So I've just come to have a quick look just to see how the no-dig beds are doing, see what weeds are growing, see if there's any spaces, what slug damage there is, and things like that. And I'm going to just show you now. So for a start, we've got some really good strong plants, cauliflowers, and we have got some definite slug damage. Now, whether these will survive, I'm not sure, but you know, I'll carry on. There he is. He is in there. Just take that little bugger out. Yeah, so I think the you know, I think the slug traps do make a difference when you've actually got some beer in them, but it seems to have dehydrated a little bit over time. But down the line, you can see most of them are looking okay. There's just 1 or 2. It's specifically these ones, isn't it? These different type of cauliflower that are suffering at the moment. Actually, these purple ones in the middle are the calets. These, yep, they're the calets. And so I remember they didn't really get much slug damage before. For some reason, they don't taste nice to slugs. These cabbages, gosh, they love those, don't they? Right, well, we'll carry on. We might replace a few because I've got a few spares anyway. And as you can see, I do have this little area that I've just discovered. It's been undercover. More ants as well. Yeah, more ants and some vineweed. So this, I'm just going to lever this out as lightly as I can with my spade, just loosen it up and pull it up as much as I can. And finally, just a little tour of my home greenhouse. And how are your courgettes doing? How are your squashes doing? Are they ready to go out, or are they growing on? You know, it's that time where you can just almost watch the leaves grow. So I'll just have a little tour of my indoor greenhouse here at home and show you how they're doing. But I'm not going to put my squashes out just yet. gonna let them grow on for another week or so, and maybe after the weekend I'll see what the weather's looking like, and if I've got my framework in place, and put them out then. Yeah, so we've got some big, the courgettes are actually growing the fastest, I think, and they're just in these size pots. And there's the tomatoes that I put in the ground a couple of days ago, and it's pretty hot in here actually. It's look, it's like 25 degrees with the window and the door open. A few spare peppers that I've got there, and here we have like round courgettes and Black Beauty, and I had to replace an extra cucumber. It says a female F1, so we'll just see how they go. And there's the remnants of my lettuce. I will be grubbing all these out though once my cucumbers are ready to go in the ground, but they've been great. They've been really good pals and have produced so much over the winter. And I've got some spares, yeah, so I guess it's always good to have some spares, isn't it? Just I don't like to just let them go though. I probably will find a home for them in the end. I sort of had those set aside for somebody, but they had far too many of their own. And here's my homegrown seed of the Chilean glory vine, the cream of carpers. So looking forward for that to grow on a bit and get those planted out. But it's sort of late summer climber, so that will be coming on later on in the year.